Everybody, welcome back. How are you? So we are at the next step. What are we at now? I think it is 4. I think. Number 4. I should write it down. I have it written down upstairs, just not down here. And we are going to do bluing, and I'll explain that, and the yellow tints and veining. I think we're going to try all 3. Okay? So the blue that you had, if you're painting along with me, if you still have your blue, then get that out and mix it up. I have this much left, which is enough. And if not, then make some new blue up. If you want to use the darker blue, you can use the phthalo blue if you want, so it's not so dark. But I like it to show up. So that's just me, you know. And you're going to need a little bit of a smaller brush. I'm probably going to need some new water. And this one is all pink. So let me get another bowl right here. My water, regular water. Put some in there. And then let's get my brush wet. So it's wet. You might need the smaller ones. And this is my pouncer that I use. If you got to mix it up again, you'll need your teaspoon, half a teaspoon measurer. You'll need your sponge, your blue sponge that you were using before. Don't throw away any of your stuff until you're absolutely done, because you can still use it, okay? A Q-tip, just in case, and your gloves. So, recap, we did the washes, and we did a flesh tone, and then we did the creases. Now, everybody does their steps differently. Now, I know that some women that I've watched and stuff will do a flesh layer before they even start. You can if you want to. I don't, unless the kit is like a peach color, really peachy color, or if it's a darker vinyl, which some of the Dolls by Sandy's kits are, then you're going to have to neutralize it before you get going. But for this instance, with this kit, you don't have to do any of that. You can put a flesh layer on first if you want. I didn't. You can if you want to. But because I do it throughout, and that's probably why, because I just do it throughout. So you can if you want to. This is the distilled water. It'll say distilled water right on it. So I've got actually a couple gallons of this, because I'm usually, well, last year I did a lot of painting. I did a lot of dolls last year, but I need to sell some of them before I go doing a bunch more, because I wanted to do a kit a month. Well, that's not happening, I don't think. Like I did for this year so far, I did my preemie, I got him done, and then I did those little teeny babies, and that's all I've done. This is the 3rd one, and this is March. So, but this one's probably not going to be done until the beginning of April sometime. Maybe. It depends. So, we're going to do bluing. Now, I've made a ton of notes on this. Now, I'm going to show you on the head, because this is the best. Where these really dark creases are, the really dark ones, that's where you're going to put the bluing. You're going to put around here, in the eyelid here, the crease of the eyes right here. You're going to put some down inside the mouth if you have open mouth. You're going to put blue inside the nostrils, and in the deep part of the ear, right here. And you'll probably put a little bit in this dark crease around the neckline. Wherever it is deep, the creases are deep, where it's deep, because that looks darker. So that's where you're gonna put them. And this usually goes by fairly quickly. And I am going to use, I'm actually going to use my small brush because we're doing in the lines. So I'm going to use a small brush. You can use a bigger brush. So I'm just going to go through and put some blue in here. Like that. See the blue? That's not going to stay there, guys. Don't freak out now. I'm just putting it in first and kind of letting it set for a second. And then you're going to put some in the crease there. Okay, now you're going to take your sponge and tap it. Don't rub it, tap it. Anytime you're doing this, don't rub, just tap. Now, because I'm doing small creases in here, I'm going to have to use my other dry brush for the eyelid, or the eye crease. Okay. Can you tell a difference? I don't know if you can. I can up close. So I don't know. You can on this one. So I'll probably have to go into the other eye a little bit more. And you just want to tap it out. You're usually working with 2 brushes, a sponge, and a Q-tip. Okay, can you see that it's got a blue tint to it? I don't know if you can on video, which kind of sucks because I want you to see it. But where it's dark is where you put the blue, okay? And I'm showing you the head first, and that's where usually the videos are going to be the longest, is on the head, because there's more that can be done. Okay, around the nostrils. I'm actually going to put the blue inside the nose while I'm right here. So I can show you. And if you get it on the outside, just tap it off. Do around the nose. And that you don't have to do this if you don't want to. But it just adds to the realism. So let me do this again. And this I usually do once or twice because it doesn't show up. Now you see how I did around the nose, in the nose, okay? And you're gonna tap that out. And it should leave a hint of blue, okay? If it doesn't, then don't worry about it. I'm going to do a little bit in the mouth. I can get it in there. And I usually don't do too much if you have an open mouth. You can watch tutorials on people that paint open mouths, and they're really good. I'm not that good. But I do, it's mostly, for me, it's mostly reds, because that's, and purple. And we'll get to that because we're not there yet. So, okay, so let me get that blue out. Have that blue out. See, you can tell it's not just red anymore around you can't really see it real good on video. I can, and looking at it right here, I can see I can see it. And that's what you want. You don't want it to be like in your face, you know, like, you don't want it to be like that. You want to put it on there, let it set for a second, and then you want to tap it out. Because you're only doing this in the dark regions, like the dark, I'll show you with the neck. See, I put some on the neck. You can see the blue. And that'll make it look dark. And then you just tap the excess off. You can't really see. Well, I guess you can. I don't know. It's, trust me, it is there. And when you're doing it on your own, in front of you, you can see it. And because it's so transparent, you can't see it where it's wet. I'm doing it right here. Right here. And you're going to tap that out. Okay, now you're going to take, you can use your bigger brush right here, a little bit bigger brush. I'm just going to do this little one. Just put the blue in here, swish it around. I'll show you in just a sec. Okay, you want to do the blue inside there. Okay. And you're going to tap it out the best you can. Ears are hard because you can't get the sponge in there. And that's where you can use the smaller brush. Wipe off the excess. I don't know if you can tell, but there is blue in there. And do the other side. I'll show you this side when I get it all on here. See the blue? And you're going to tap it off. I usually kind of let it set for a second, you know, because you want it to stick to the vinyl. Because you want that dark area. Okay. I don't know if you can see. I don't know how well it shows up, but trust me, it is blue. And when you put your flush tones on and your, you know, your color, your mottling and all that, you'll see this underneath. I mean, it's not going to be, it's just another, and I put, see, it's different. I should show you before and after. I'll do that in a minute, next time. Okay, let me show you. There's the bluing with the bluing. Okay, so here's underneath the neck. See how red it is? Now, when I put the blue on, it's going to look like a purple color. At least it should. It'll be more towards a purplish color. See, it's more of a purplish color. Okay, and then you're gonna pounce it. And that's kind of like blending it in. Okay, remember how red it was. Okay, now it's more of a purpley hue to it. And it doesn't show up on video very well, which I'm not happy about, so you can't really see it, but trust me, it's got that blue tint to it. I think I need to do the nose again, on the nose. See, there's the blue. You don't want it to look like that, okay? You want it to have that blue tint. You want it to have like a blue tint. And I don't know if it's showing up. When I look at it back, I'll be able to see. But right now it just doesn't look like it did anything, but I did. You can tell. It'll be like a purpley color. When you do it, when you see it, it'll be kind of like a purpley color. Okay, so there's your face. You just do the deep creases. On your arms, you're going to do the deep creases inside the elbow. Inside here, because their hand's like this. See when you bend it, how dark it is in there? You're going to do that in where, inside here. You're gonna do that. Let me show you on the foot. On the foot, this is a little bit more. You got, well, because this kit has deep creases, so you're gonna have right here underneath the knee. You're gonna have a couple of deep ones in the foot, like right underneath the toes, behind the toes. It says, let's see, nose, ear, mouth, inside the ear, we did that, inside the nostrils, inside the mouth. If it's a closed mouth, just like the eyes are closed, you're going to go across that line right there. The corner of the eye, which we did, the bridge of the nose. I don't do the temple. There's a dip in the temple. I don't usually do that. I didn't do it with this one either. Okay, and then we have open hand. You're going to do the middle of the palm. So if the hand was open, okay, you're going to do like right here, okay, if the hand is open. If it's in the fist, you're going to do in the knuckle area where it's bent. That's what I just showed you. The bend of the elbow, the wrist, the deep of the wrist, the legs, I just told you, the center, the bottom of the foot. Like, I'll do one right here. Right here. And the deep crease up in here. I'll show you. Where's the other one? Back of the knee, the deep crescents. Under the ankle, if you can see the ankle, really good. Let me show you. Let me get the foot so I can show you. Okay. Okay. Like that, the deep parts. And if you don't have deep parts, you're going to do the middle of the foot in the arch area. Okay, let me pounce that. And pounce that. This sometimes I do more than one time. I don't know, we'll see what it looks like after. You can see that the deep red got a little bit deeper. Okay, let me put that back. And then in the fist, okay, you're just gonna put a bunch in here. And then on this side. Okay, so you're gonna do inside there and inside there, okay? And you're gonna do the deep creases, the bend of the elbow, and the deep creases. And you're gonna do the wrist area. Let me show you. Get some blue on here. Okay, the wrist, the bend of the elbow, the deep crease, right, the fist, the other fist, okay? And then you're gonna pounce that blue. And if you don't think it shows up enough or makes it look deep enough, you can do it again. Do it as many times as you need to. But where this is newborn size, I'm not gonna do like a huge amount. I'm just gonna make it look. See, in these creases I didn't do very well. I don't even think I did them, because they're not red at all. Get my red out and do that. It just has a blue tint, guys. It just has a blue tint. And I need to mix this up a little bit. Because I didn't do in here. What was I thinking? I need to do that. I didn't do the thumb either. See, I didn't do that. I'm like, how come that doesn't look like it's been done? And you can do that. I mean, you always look at your work. And I didn't feel good yesterday, and I wasn't paying attention. And I should have been paying attention. See, now I have that in there. So now I can go back with the blue. Whoops, clean that off. And add the blue. And it's gonna look kind of purpley when you put it on. It's gonna look kind of purpley, which is what you want. You want that color, but you don't want it wet like that. You want the color, but you don't want the wet. See, I'm going to end up doing creases again. That's okay. All right. So this one is done. Okay. Now you're going to go, you're going to do this with all of them. Okay, your foot and your hands, and I will be back. Okay, you should have had the bluing done. Now we are going to do the yellow part. And this isn't going to take long at all. The bluing takes a little bit more because you're still doing the in-depth of the creases and stuff. So the yellowing are the high points. So on the head, we have the tip of the lip, which is right here, this little part right here. You see where I did this little piece right here? That's where I put it. You don't have to. You don't have to do any of these steps if you don't want to. These are just extra. The point of the chin, which is right here on the chin area. The chin. the tip of the nose. The tip of the nose. The upper ears up here. Up here. Do that on both sides. Okay. Above the lips, point of the ears. On the cheek, I usually do like a thing right here, like you're putting on blush. Okay. And if the eye is puffy, like this one is puffy, so you'd put a little bit up here. Put a little bit up here. And you're going to take one of these sponges, and you're just going to tap it in. Okay? Tap it in. And you should see it. Like I'll show you. You'll see a tint of yellow. No, so you can see the tip of his nose, her nose, the chin, a little bit on the cheek, and the eyes are puffy, and I put it right there. And like I said, when it's in front of you, it's totally different because you can really see. Now, because of the light, you might not see, you can see hints of it right here on the chin and the nose. And I did put some on the puffy of the eye. And that, okay, so that's all you're going to do for that. On the arm, you're going to do the top of the knuckles, if they are bent. These ones are bent. So you're going to go across the top here and across this part where it's bent, right here. See, right there and the top of there, okay? And you're gonna tap that in. Now, like I said, these are just hints of color. And you can see hints of color. Okay, you're gonna do the elbow. On the elbow, I just put like a round piece. Okay. On the elbow, top of the shoulder, which is right here. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't, because you can't really tell. Well, you can and you can't. In the back of the elbow, arm, you know, back here, I just put it on the elbow and the knuckles. Okay, so you'll do that. Do it on both of them. Now, I didn't tell you how to mix this. You're going to mix it just like you do, like we did before. You're going to use your yellow, your distilled water, and your stuff. If you don't have this, use your glass and tile medium. You know, put a dot in there. Mix it up. You need a sponge, and you're going to mix this up. And this you want kind of transparent. Can you tell? I don't know if you can tell. Okay. See, it's kind of transparent, but yellow. Okay. Now on the foot, you're going to do the tips of the toes. Right across the tips here. Tips of the toes. Okay. And the heel. On the heel. What? On the heel. Tip there. And the edge of the foot, the outer edge, like right here. Right here. Okay. And this is, I'm really not sure I don't know, and on the knee, just like you do the elbow, just put some on there. Put some on there. Okay. The ankle, just put a little bit under the ankles. Okay. And the outer thigh, like right out here if you want. And that's it. Just the yellowing is pretty easy. Just the tip of the toes. I really haven't seen, other than the face, I really didn't see in the heel the purpose of the yellowing on the tips of the toes and stuff, because it gets covered. I don't know. It's different. All right. That, and then the knee. Okay. That goes by pretty quickly because you're not doing like a lot. You know, you're doing, and you don't have to do this part if you don't want to. It's just the high points, you know, where everything is bent. And sometimes you can see it through stuff on the knuckles when you finish painting. Sometimes you can. I think I already did this. The elbow. Okay. That's it for the yellowing. And you can go back over it if you want. And when it's up close, you can tell the yellow tint and everything. Okay, so that's it for yellowing. So the last part for today, because we are at almost 30 plus minutes, we are going to save your yellow, put it over your bin. I got a stack of them going over here. Rinse your brushes off. Rinse your brushes off because you are going to need the blue again. Okay, the blue. And I'm going to use this blue that we've been using. I still have some in it. And if you don't want it to show up like in your face, then use this color. Okay, we are going to do veining. And you don't have to do veining if you don't want to. Okay. Now you can look up infant veins. Now I only put them in certain sections and that's it. On the head, and I use, where's my other brush? I don't use those real thin ones. I use this one. Let me get it wet. I use this one. It looks more like a liner brush. It's a little bit thicker than this one that goes in the creases. It's more like that. And I take the blue, soak it up, and you're gonna make veins. Okay? And on the temple. And then you're gonna pounce it away. And like I said, blue stains. So you are going to, you don't want it to dry, but you don't want it to set very long either. Okay? And you don't want it to look like pen marks. And if you get it on the ears, like I just did, just tap it off. Okay, let me, on the forehead. You don't have to do this. Now, I don't know if you can see it. You can a little bit. So let me do it again, because I can see it. So let me show you again. So I'm going to start from the temple and go up. And just come down. Okay, so you're going to make some veins. And then you're going to pounce it. You're not going to rub it. You're going to pounce it. And see if you can still see where I put this. Okay. You can still see where it is. Okay. So you do from the temple up. You do from the forehead up. You can do it in the back. Just like that. See that? And just, I was very intimidated with veins when I first did this, and I didn't do them at all. And I got a practice head and limbs, and I practiced. You can barely see, you can see the lines, but not see the lines, see? Okay? You can see the lines, but you can't see the lines. All right? Now that is all I do for the head. The hands and the feet are different. Okay, so if you look at your wrist, let's put this down for a minute. If you look at your, I don't know if you can tell, okay. Look at your wrist. See how it comes, well mine anyway, comes down like this and it goes up. Goes like that. And look at your own wrist and in your hand. I have one that's right around my thumb, and then it comes down kind of crooked up my arm, okay? And if you look, let me take this off. See you can see the vein right here. It looks like a Y around my knuckle, and then it comes down into my arm, okay? You can look at your own veins and see how they run. To do it, you can look it up online, but I will take it because there's already one here, and I kind of take it like that. Looks kind of like mine, and I leave it there for a second, and then I just pounce it off. Now I'm using the deeper blue. If you don't want it to like really show, let me show you. You can't even really tell. You can up in your face, but if you use that phthalo blue, you will barely see it. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to let it set for a minute, and then tap it off. And what I think is really cool, sometimes I don't do veining. I wouldn't have done it on this one, but I wanted to show you in case you wanted to do it. Now you can see, you can kind of see the blue tint lines, okay? That's underneath, and then on the top of the hand, I'm going to do like mine and come out of the middle finger and kind of come up the arm a little bit. Now, sometimes I don't do this because when you do mottling, it looks like veins. So I don't always do this on my babies, but I wanted to show you how. And blue stains, so if you had let that stay on there, it would have looked like I've seen some people when they're first starting do veins, and it looks like they drew them on. It looks just like that. I mean, just like that. You don't want it to look like that. You want it to blend. You want to see it, but you don't want to see it, okay? So, well, this one's probably better. You can start seeing where I put the blue. You can see the hints of the blue. I can see it in here. So you don't want it to like be in your face, but you want to be able to see it. You know what I mean? Same with the head. You can see the blue tints, and it's really starting to look like something. So I just follow my, and you're just kind of making like tree branches, you know? And you want it to stick a little bit, so that's why I put it on there. I show you, and then I'm gonna kind of leave it a minute, not long, because it will look awful. You want to tap it. Daisy's having a fit because she knows she's not allowed up on my table here, and she wants to get up, and she can't. And sometimes I'll do this 2 or 3 times. But I know the mottling is going to make it look like this. Wait till we get to do that. I love mottling. And there's a lot of people that don't like it. I don't know why. I think it looks cool. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do on that side. And then this side, you just kind of come out of the hand. And kind of make it go in little things, you know. And then you're going to pounce it. And what you're doing is you're taking away the water, but you're not taking away the color. But you are, you know? So, let's do in the hand a little bit more. Like that. Alright. I don't know if you'll be able to see. You can see the blue tint. You can see the blue tint. Okay, so the arms are done. Let's show you the legs. The legs, the same idea. I go through the middle toe, and I bring it up the leg. Like that. I don't want it to stain too much. So you do the front of the foot. Just look at your foot. Kind of see how the veins are running. And just do them from there. But you don't want it to look like a pen. Okay, when you're doing this. Don't make it look like a pen. You're going to do by the ankle up. By the ankle up. Like that. And then just pounce it off. And if you're not happy with it, I mean, you want it to be underneath all these layers. And you can barely see it. I don't know if you're going to see it on there, but you might. And you see it on there. Now the bottom of the foot, I just follow the little foot a little bit, just some of the lines, because you're not going to tell because of all the creases on here that we've done. You just follow the ankle, up the ankle. And you don't have to do this. Like I said, when you do the mottling, if you choose to do the mottling, it looks like veins. So I don't usually do veins. Well, I haven't lately, but it just depends. I don't like to make them like in your face. I like to see them, the way I do them, you can see the blue underneath the paint that we did. And it's not underneath the paint, it's on top of the paint, which is weird, but that's how I see it. And because maybe your veins stick out a lot, mine, they don't stick out like major. They stick out, but they're not like in your face. And that's how I do this. When I first did this, I think it's on Tegan, you can really see her veins because I didn't do it as watery. And I'm like, I think you're supposed to see them, you know? And, okay, let's do the front of the foot. And then I'll do up the ankle. Up the ankle. And then pounce it. That's it. And do the inside ankle. Pretty much on the foot, I do the top of the foot and the sides, the ankle. That's all I do for the legs and the foot, is that. Sometimes I'll do the bottom. But you can't really, that one you can't really see really good. And you can do it 2 or 3 times if you want, if you would like to see it more, because we still got mottling to do and we still have flesh tones to do. So if you want it to stick out, you can do more. It's your preference, you know, if you like veiny babies. Now, if you were doing like a creepy doll, I wouldn't even watercolor, I wouldn't even add water to the paint. I'd add a little bit of water, and then you'd really be able to see them. You know, if you wanted to do a creepy doll. I'm not for that. I don't want to do... The monkey was fun for Ariel. She was so surprised when I gave her that. Because she's wanted one, but she didn't think she'd get one. There's no way I would have rooted it. It was already, it came that way. All I had to do was put it together. And that'll be, you know, if somebody wants to, you want a reborn, but you don't want to do all the paint and stuff. Bountiful Baby has the ones that are already done, pre-painted and rooted. Buy one of those kits and the body that goes with it, and then just put it together yourself. All you have to do is put it together. And that is the best. Like her rain and the monkey, I got pre-painted, pre-done. I added a little bit of hair to Rain. I rooted a little bit on her. But, and then just put her together. That, you know, and then, you know, you did it. You made it. Painting is intimidating for people, because you really don't need to have experience in painting. It helps, but you don't need it. Okay, guys, that is it. So you can finish your paint with that. And our next video, up next, is mottling. We're going to start mottling, which is my favorite. It will come and look way different. So that will be the next part. So I hope you enjoyed this one. And it was fun to do. You can rewatch it to that stuff. Okay, we'll see you again.